Well, the CEOs of some of the nation's top gun makers testified before the House Oversight Committee and got grilled by various members about their role within this gun violence epidemic in our country. Committee chairwoman, Democratic Rep. Carolyn Maloney of New York said that gun manufacturers are marketing weapons of war to children and profiting from gun violence.
This is an ultra-deadly weapon engineered to kill enemy soldiers on the battlefield. Yet the gun industry has flooded our neighborhoods, our schools, and even our churches and synagogues with these deadly weapons and has gotten rich doing it.
Joining me now, ABC News investigative reporter Josh Margolin, also Lawrence Keene with the National Shooting Sports Foundation. Josh, let's start with you. Gun manufacturers argued during this meeting that they are selling a legal product, and they put the blame directly on the person that's pulling the trigger. Both sides have made their point. They did that definitely during this hearing. Who do you think did a better job defending themselves?
Look, Kira, it's the gun argument. So we have a situation where whatever side you agree with is the side you think did better. I think what's clear to people in the country who are looking at this candidly and soberly, the two sides still are talking past each other. And it seemed to me, because I think I'm a rational person and I've covered this issue and we've covered this issue, I think that yesterday's hearing does suggest that there is a way forward. There are things that can be done. Of course they're making and marketing a legal product. And of course there's a gun violence problem in the country. Does anybody disagree with either of those two things, right? That's the key here.
You are a very rational person. Lawrence, another rational person. The committee says that these companies, market weapons to our children, that they prey upon young men's insecurities. They use deceptive tactics in their advertising, and that they also are appealing to white supremacists. Do you think this is a fair assessment?
Well, I would agree with your reporter. We think there is common ground. And the overheated rhetoric that we hear from the chairwoman, who's in a political primary with Chairman Nadler from the House Judiciary Committee, doesn't help to advance that constructive dialogue. The industry doesn't market firearms to criminals. It doesn't market firearms to children. Children can't purchase them. The industry works towards real solutions. That's why, for example, we supported the Fix NICS Act that passed in 2018, actually named after a program from the National Shooting Sports Foundation to make sure that the background check system run by the FBI works as designed and intended, and records of people who are disqualified from purchasing firearms are in that record. A quick example of why this matters: the Department of Defense failed to put disqualifying records concerning the murderer in Sutherland Springs. Because of their failure to put those records in, he was able to purchase the firearm used to commit that horrible, horrible crime. And let me be very clear. Nobody in the industry condones that sort of violence. It's horrible, and we don't want to see it happen, just like every rational American. So we are working towards real solutions. As it was a bipartisan bill, we worked closely with both sides of the aisle on the bipartisan Safer Communities Act that just passed. We had input to make sure that that bill achieved important things, like making sure there was funding for mental health resources, because we think that's what's at the root cause of many of these very horrible, high-profile incidents. We also think that it's important that if states are going to have red flag laws, they need to respect due process, they need to respect the Second Amendment, but more importantly, they need to be used. It wasn't used in Buffalo. It wasn't used in Illinois, in Highland Park. So if you're going to have these laws and don't use them, what's the point? We do think there's common ground, and we want to work towards that. Banning firearms or blaming an inanimate object for the irrational acts of deeply disturbed young men who didn't get the help they needed is not going to advance that dialogue.
And Lawrence, it's fair to say there's a lot that needs to be done with regard to checks and balances. And clearly, I mean, we've seen that, and also mental health. It is definitely twofold. And Josh, you know, the CEO of Smith & Wesson was invited to the hearing yesterday, but didn't show up. Chairwoman Maloney saying that she intends to subpoena them now for documents. What is exactly that she's hoping to find, and why do you think he did not show up?
Well, clearly it's a political season, and she's hoping to embarrass them. She's hoping to make a point, and I don't know that she's necessarily wrong. If you're subpoenaed to testify before Congress, you should show up. If you're producing and marketing and manufacturing a legal product, then you should be prepared to stand by that product, even in the face of people who might be critics. Now, she obviously is saying that she wants more information. She wants to know about marketing. There were a lot of questions yesterday about, you know, the issues of, are they tracking violence? Are they tracking misuse of their products? Those are legitimate questions that the public wants answered.
It shall continue. Josh, Lawrence, thanks so much, guys.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.